Should we all be wearing
Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Call the meeting to order. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a moment of silence. Roll call, Brooke.
Counselor Scott Stiriz.
Here.
Counselor Stickley.
Here.
Counselor Schneider.
Here.
Council President Chamberlin.
Here.
Counselor Jeff Stiriz.
Here.
Counselor Griggs.
Here.
We have 6 members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, council has had time to review the prior meeting's minutes, committee meeting and committee of the whole. We have a motion for that approval.
I would make a motion for that, Mayor.
I'll second it.
Motion to approve the prior meeting minutes moved by Counselor Stickley and seconded by Counselor Griggs. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on, we had nobody wishing to address today's meeting, but we do have a committee report. Utility Committee meeting from June 4th. Jeff?
Okay, since I took the filing cabinet, I don't have my glasses, but I'll give it a shot.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
We met June 4th at noon. It was Councilor Stickley, Council President Chamberlin, and myself, and also Keith Corbett and Brooke Bumgarner was present. First thing we talked about was LED lights. Keith talked to Toledo Edison about a grant program which would replace all the city street lights with LED. They give him 3 options. One, we could replace them all. It costs the city $200 a light. Option 2 was we could do certain streets, and it still costs us $200 a light. Option 3 was when one burns out, let Toledo Edison replace it with LED. It won't cost us nothing. Now, in a lot of the streets, you probably wouldn't notice the difference, but you get downtown or on Shoe, you might see a big difference. So we thought, well, we'll go with option 3, and if you see a big difference, then we'll replace more. But until then, we'll let the.
How long does the light last, you know?
I don't know how long do they say a LED light?
The LED lights can last 5 years, if not longer, depending on usage. 25,000 hours, I think it is.
But how about the old ones? Like, how long would it take to replace them?
A fifth of that. Usually annually, we're replacing them every 2 years.
So, and there could be, right now there's different colors of lights. When you're driving down these side streets, you'll see different colors, but if we get into a high traffic area where it doesn't look right, then we would change and do so many. So we chose option 3 because I think we're tight. Why I chose 3.
Do the LEDs, do they hum when they're going out like the ones do now? They make that humming sound?
And the ones in your house, that little buzz noise.
Yeah,
Oh.
the ballast, whatever going out.
Not usually, it's usually just boom, they're done.
Mhm. Good, okay.
They don't have balances in LEDs.
That's what I said. I asked if they did
A lot of
do
times
it.
they'll
Yeah.
blink. Mine start blinking in the
Okay.
shop. In the bulbs, you know, the
Mhm.
big popcorn bulbs, they'll start blinking. And when that happens, it ain't gonna be long for their.
I think you said LED lights are 30
believe the ones they're looking at are 30 watts compared to 70.
70, so it'd be our cheaper to run.
Yeah.
Do we know how much per light on the average, do they know?
Well, if they just change them as they go,
Yeah, but I mean, how much savings would there be if you had an LED compared to the normal light?
yeah, I don't know.
I
Savings.
don't have those figures, Steve.
Don't we
Okay,
just
I
have a
just
contract
curious.
with them all, or not, just a set price with? Be more beneficial to employees, let us $80 a month, cheap.
But right now,
But we
they
did the
just,
city.
right now, we pay so much per light pole. And if
1,000.
the bulb goes bad, they come and change it.
Yeah.
How much did we save when we went to LED with the city?
For the stoplights?
No, in here.
Oh, in here.
I know, it made a difference. I know, I'm putting you on the spot, okay? But that, I think it's a good answer.
The only thing is they're gonna look weird uptown if one burns out and you got a half and half.
Well, that's what we said, if that happens, we'll go ahead
Okay.
and do.
Did anybody
Right.
count how many lights we have downtown?
That was her duty. While
Oh.
she was around the city.
Brooke is gonna count
Wait
all
till
the
we get
lights
to
in the
it.
city.
Yeah, Brooke
And
could
then,
count all the lights in the
Maybe,
city.
maybe Tom knows, since he lives on Fulton Street. How many lights is in downtown, Tom?
I think there
20, 25.
is. I think there's.
Yeah, that's the main street, you know, that your office is on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, I think it was like 4 or 5
All
on
of them, right?
in a block.
He's there,
Yeah,
yeah.
10, 20,
Yeah.
maybe 30, and just within, and then like in front of the courthouse, maybe more.
Usually at night.
Are they? Thank you, Tom.
Good
So
to
on
know.
that one, that was our recommendation, to start out with them changing them, then we'll see what happens. Like you said, if it doesn't look right, then we'll, change
In
it.
high profile areas, we can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was our recommendation on that.
Every other,
Uh,
make it pretty.
The next thing we discussed was Haas Door, and on street lighting on Krieger and Dickman. For some reason, years ago, they put them 2 streets in, and to cut money, they didn't put streetlights in. So, and Haas Door is building on, and they have to move their parking lot. So the employees got a long walk to go to work. But they want lights so they can see across the street. And there was, somewhere on here, it's lights.
I don't have them in front of me either, Jeff.
I think it's 14.
But then there's, Haas Door wants 3 more lights. And they agreed to pay for those 3, right?
There were 13 poles and 11 lights to light the streets, both Krieger and Dickman, to the national standards. Then Hostor wanted 3 additional lights added would be on the north side of those poles as well as on the south side. So it's overhanging the walkways and sidewalks by their parking area, so it would light up both the bike path and the sidewalk going from the employees' parking lot, and they would foot the bill for those lights.
So there'll be 3 poles with double lights, one going each way. And Haas Door is gonna foot the bill for that. Haas Door will be paying $12,231. And the city's cost is gonna be $29,000. And we recommended we go ahead and do it. So that was the 2 recommendations we had.
You asked about, not sure why they didn't put them up. I'm thinking that was before the ordinance that the city put in place, that if you develop new roads and stuff, that had to be put in, and
Probably.
underground and all that stuff, wiring.
Yeah,
And
but-
we passed that, so it was probably, the streets were put in prior to, if we just didn't put them in.
Is there a sewer and water line down those roads?
Yes.
Mhm.
Was that put in at the time, or was that put in later?
I think that was put in later.
Part of it, I know, was put in later because of the expansion for the hospital.
I thought that was just recently because they went farther down in case something else got developed with.
I think that was
one of
added
them.
after the, like it was in phases.
I think that was past
Yeah.
whichever road heads to Leggett Street. Is that Dickman? Or Krieger?
Krieger.
So I think that was past Krieger towards a
Yeah.
trail. So that was our discussion, and that was the 2 recommendations we come up with.
Okay, Okay.
I'd make a motion, Mayor, to accept both recommendations from the utility committee.
I was gonna ask if you guys wanted to vote both at the same
I'll
time.
second that.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them.
Council President Chamberlain made a motion with Councilor Stickley seconding to
Accept both recommendations.
accept both recommendations from the utility committee meeting. Any discussion?
Well, why don't you find out how many streetlights are in the whole city? I would count them before they put these new lights in, that way you're. So why
I'll
don't
work
would you
on it.
report back to
You can
us?
do it at night since the lights are on, too.
Yeah.
I will work on that. Councilor Scott Steer,
Yes.
Councilor Stickley,
Yes.
Councilor Schneider,
Yes.
Council President Chamberlain.
Yes.
Councilor Jeff Stiriz.
Yes.
And Councilor Griggs.
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Light up Wauseon. Okay, under our readings, we have nothing under the first, second, and/or third. It's a boring month. So, under new business, though, we have quite a bit. I need a motion to reappoint Lisa Smith to the Charter Revision Commission for a 3-year term, July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion to reappoint Lisa Smith to the Charter Revision Commission, moved by Councilor Jeff Stiertz and seconded by Councilor Schneider. Any discussion? Councilor Scott Stiertz?
Yeah.
Councilor Stickley?
Yes.
Councilor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chamberlain?
Yes.
Councilor Jeff Stiertz?
Yes.
Councilor Griggs?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, we have another liquor license request from the Wauseon Rollercade located on 340 West Leggett Street. They applied for a D3 liquor license. This is where if we have no action, it moves forward. Any discussion on this?
Nobody has any complaints?
Yep. Okay, good. And I wanted to allow council to know that I removed the state of emergency for the city of Wauseon. We're more or less going along with the state mandates and felt that there was no more need for the state of emergency. So we are back to normal business and at the city of Wauseon. The Firecracker 5K that was held will be 2 weeks Thursday. And that was put on by Chamber of Commerce for to raise funds for the fireworks display. And it was a great success according to Bill Drummer, and he wants to give Josie Delaney a big shout out because she did a lot of work and a lot of walking and a lot of continued walking to make sure it was exact for that 5K, because many runners who came weren't just from Wauseon, they were from all over. In fact, we had one from out of state, I don't know, it was Kentucky, Tennessee, somewhere, that came up and ran. So there were a lot of good runners, and it had 144 participants, which was great. He said his numbers raised have not been finalized yet because a couple of bills are still coming in, but he will let us know what that is. And the only thing, because we have the media out here, is the July meeting on July 6th. The offices are closed on July 5th for the first Monday due to the 4th of July being observed for the city, so the offices will be closed for the city of Wauseon. So council had made that decision to go with the 6th, the next day. Now, a lot of times the clerk of council gets those calls, "Oh, you guys having a meeting tonight?" So y'all know.
In that case, I better ask, just in case I forget. Change days on you.
Yeah.
Gotta be excused if I forget.
Yes, I guess, yeah. And Brooke promises to send out a reminder for everybody.
Okay, that'll work.
I will do that.
Anything else under new business?
So when's the fireworks gonna be, Mayor?
That Friday before the 4th of
Second.
July. That is when it worked out for the company. I heard there's still quite a few cities that are not able to do it because they cannot get the companies because they've already been booked from
It's
2
on the
years
TV
ago.
that Toledo is not going to do theirs.
Mhm. It's hard. Some of the swimming pools in Toledo as well.
I see that, yep.
So,
We're
We're
fortunate.
very fortunate.
Yeah.
Our, as fact, we were talking earlier, the heat that we had over this past weekend, our pool was packed, and I heard that, no glitches, it just, a lot of kids, a lot of families in our parks, a lot of graduations in our shelters. And I thought, we have 8 parks, and they're all getting utilized, the trails, everything, so,
Yep.
we don't need any statement from Tom, but it's really good. He's not even.
She took a shot at you, Tom.
You missed
He wasn't paying
it. You missed
About
it.
the trails, yeah, we were looking for a trail report.
Yeah, we're just
Hey,
trying.
nobody got lost. The Rotary Club manned the trails for the Firecracker 5K, and everything went well out there. We had lots of water.
Yes.
And I bumped into Mike and Cheeseman at the park the weekend after. He's the guy that won the race, and he said it was exactly 3.1,
Good.
and he's excited to run it again next year.
I heard that too. I was at the finish line, and many of them said they would be coming back. And I think the female was not from Wauseon as well, that one race. And she said the same thing. It was a good run. They loved the trail. They run, because.
I think Josie walked it 3 times just to be safe. 'cause
She
runners
did.
are-
Yeah, and they actually had to move forward to get it correct, because
Yeah.
we're gonna meet at Sullivan's. And give a big shout out for Sullivan's for the food and stuff, and opening up their place for people to come in too.
Well, I know when I drive a 5K, I don't want to go 3.2.
Yeah, I know. Runners are very,
Oh.
they get hostile.
Every one of them,
Shorter,
yeah,
longer.
they got there, and Dave's running shop had all of the times, so it worked out really good for them to get on.
The only place I run is the bathroom.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Anybody have anything for old business?
I got a question.
Yes.
How we coming, Tom? I was asked by the church today how we're coming, or what are we gonna do? On Hodgenaki property, understand it's on the judge's bench?
No, actually, I believe he signed the order, and we filed a recipe to set a sale. So we're waiting for the sheriff to do their appraisal roll, and then they'll set a sale date.
Moving forward then,
Yes.
good news. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion for approval of the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion to approve and pay the bills as presented was moved by Counselor Schneider and seconded by Counselor Stickley. Any discussion? Counselor Scott Stiriz?
Yes.
Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chamberlain?
Pay the bills.
Counselor Jeff Stiriz?
Yes.
Counselor Griggs?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Okay, and I need a motion now to go into an executive session for certain personnel matters involving public employees or officials' compensation.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to enter into executive session moved by Counselor Jeff Stiriz and seconded by Counselor Scott Stiriz. Any discussion? Counselor Scott Stiriz?
Yes.
Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Jeff Stiriz?
Yes.
Counselor Griggs?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you.